Okay, folks. No, we're good. All right, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thursday morning Pilates. Had to recheck what day it was today. So, welcome to morning class, or maybe you're joining us later on today. So, good evening if you're catching up with us later on today. I'm Jenny. For those of you that are less familiar with the sessions, so just a quick recap and reminder of the things to consider before we start. I am going to assume a basic understanding and knowledge of Pilates and some prior experience, so please do take that into account before you begin. If you are a complete beginner, then you are at your own risk. Welcome to join in and follow along, but this is not aimed at entire beginners. Okay, pre-warning over. And as always, just if anyone's got any medical conditions or injuries that they know they shouldn't do exercises, then just don't do that. Okay, pre-warning properly over now. All right, we're going to start on the floor. So if you are standing up, waiting for me to stand up, then take a seat on your mat. Sit cross-legged or wherever feels comfortable for you with your legs in front. Then just take a moment just to bring your hands onto your knees or wherever feels comfortable for you, and lift yourself up nice and tall and strong and straight. Then try and bring your shoulders down away from your ears. Maintain that length through your spine, so from your tailbone, which is on the mat, all the way through and up to the crown of your head. Think long through your spine from your bottom through to the back of your neck. Then lift and take a few wide and deep breaths here. Good. If you are sat cross-legged, then cross your legs the other way. Yeah, it feels super weird if you've got your legs crossed the way that isn't natural to you. And then again, just sit up nice and tall, re-lengthen through your spine. Good. Draw that belly button in towards your back if you can a little bit. It's quite hard when you're sat down. And again, just take a few slow and wide and deep breaths here. From there, just turn your head to one side and then turn and look to the other way. Good, and again, one way and the other. Good. Come back to the middle. Put your hands by your side and then just take a reach and lean over, and then the other way. So slide your hands across the mat. Try not to let your bum come off the ground, so stay with your bottom on the mat as you reach from side to side. So reach and extend, and then one more time the other way. And back you come. Bring your hands together, interlock them, and then reach and lift up. So stretch and lengthen. Backs of your hands facing down and insides your hands facing up the way. Good. Then bring your hands round behind you. Put them down into the floor behind you and lift and push yourself up. Nice and tall and straight, even straighter than you could do without a little bit of extra assistance. Good. Okay, bring your legs out in front, so extend your legs towards me or out in front of you, and then point your feet and toes up to the ceiling. Lift up and overhead with your arms, and then dive towards your toes. Bring your arms back up and in and go round again. So sweep round and lift up. Sweep up and round. Go the other way. So dive your hands forwards and then lift up. Bring your hands round. Aim towards those ankles and feet, and then lift up. We'll do a couple more. Reach forwards and rise. One more time. Reach forwards and lift up. Good stuff. Move your legs and feet to hip width or a little bit wider than hip width, a little bit wider than shoulder width, and again, point your toes and feet up towards the ceiling. Then point your toes down and away from you. So flex your ankles and then extend. So extend and flex. So up and back down. Good. Couple more there. Good. So pull your toes in towards you and then point your toes away from you. Last one. Bring your toes in and then push your toes away. Grubby bit on my leg. Bike this morning. Good. And rest rest there. Put your legs a little bit wider still, so definitely wider than your hips and shoulders this time, and then sit up nice and tall. Rotate your body so you're aiming your torso and chest over one side, and then reach towards your toes and your feet. And lift up in the center, do the same on the other side. So rotate and then reach and stretch. Ooh, tighter that side. And come up. Lift up first, then rotate so your chest is aiming over that leg, and reach. Now try and hold on to your foot this time, or your shin, so those that can't reach their feet. Try and keep that bottom down on the other side, and hold that stretch. If it's a bruise. Okay, up you come. Lift up, and again, stay lifted, and now rotate. Turn your chest and body so it's aiming over the other leg, and fold and reach forwards again. Try and go for your foot or your shin or your knee, whichever you can make, and try and keep this butt cheek down on the ground. Good, come up to the center. This time we're going to take each hand to the respective foot. So lift up and fold forwards. Try and clasp inside of your foot, underneath the ball of your foot, and just reach your fingers and hands round so you're holding on. Good stuff. Okay, bring those legs back into the center, and again lift yourself up nice and tall. We're going to lift our leg up and out this time, so a little bit of work for our hips, also quite a lot of work for our core as we try and maintain that good posture and length from our tailbone through to our head with our trunk and our torso. So in your own time, just take the leg out and back in and out and back in. Now try and keep your torso and your upper body really strong and lifted as you go in and out and side to side. Good. So out and back in, out and back in. Give me a couple more. Good, nice and steady. Really good, really good. Last couple. Good, and let's do one more on each side. Good, and last one, rest there. Bend the knees and feet up and in. I'll start showing you this way and then I'll turn sideways. So feet are flat on the floor, heels are down, curl your tailbone under, and then just lean back and lift. So from the side, heels down, knees comfortably bent, curl your tailbone under and roll back and lift up. Really small range of movement just now, just tiny hinge and tilt back, and then lift yourself up. Good, so curl your tailbone under and then lift yourself up. Good, last few here. Good, roll back and lift up, roll back and lift up. Good, okay, sit up nice and tall again, and then from here I want you to twist. So bring both hands round and twist yourself towards me. A little bit of a stretch and rotation, and then the other way, opposite direction, and then back you come. Okay, back to our roll backs. So curl that tailbone under. This time I want you to hinge back and hold. Now stay in this slightly decline position and just stay here for a moment or two and just work your abdominals. Your hip flexors are working a little bit as well. Now bring yourself back up. We'll do that same movement again. So curl that tailbone under, roll back and hold. Make those abdominals work. Try and relax the shoulders as best as you can. And then bring yourself back up. We'll do that 2 more times. So curl that tailbone under, hinge back and hold. Abdominals are still working. Tummy is drawn in, shoulders are chilled out. Good. And then rise and lift up. One more. Curl that tailbone under, hinge back and hold. Stay here for a moment. We've got it. Good. And lift back up. Okay, this time we're going to do roll backs but with straight legs. So extend your legs out in front so they are straight away from you. And then again you're going to curl that tailbone under and you're going to roll back and lift up. So straighten out your mat, gent. Good. So curl your tailbone under, roll back and lift. So keep the movement relatively small just to begin. Roll back and lift up. And your feet will slide along the mat a wee bit. And then you've got to get back up again. So don't go back too far because you've obviously got to get back up to that lifted position. Roll back and lift yourself up. One more time. roll back and lift up. Okay, leaving those legs extended, this time we're going to roll back and we're going to try and do that little out and in with our feet that we did when we were facing this way a few moments ago. So curl that tailbone under, hinge back and hold. Now you're going to make a little out and in, and then lift up. I'll show you from the front as well. We'll do it again together. So curl that tailbone under, hinge back and hold. We're going out to the side. So open, good, and lift up. We'll do that again, but we're going to do 2 on each side this time. So curl that tailbone under. Just go back to challenge you and challenge the work in your abdominals. Open, good. Little circle out to the side, little semicircle out to the left, and then to the right, good. And then lift yourself back up. How are we doing? Are we okay-ish? Okay, leave your legs extended again, but I want you to try and go as far as you are able to go back this time, so I'll show you from both sides again. So curl your tailbone under. I want you to lie yourself back, and then you've got to get yourself back up again using as little momentum as you can. So roll yourself back. If you can only go that far, that's fine, because I don't want you to come back up using your legs and your arms. So in your own time, curl your tailbone under, lie back as far as you can. If you can lie all the way down, great, but you do have to then come back up again using the strength in your abdominals, and your legs and your arms not helping out a great deal. So roll yourself back down again and then bring yourself back up. The work is in your core, not in your legs. So only go as far as you can that you can get back up again. You need to decide what your range of movement is and how strong you are, and whether you are able to go all the way back. If you try and you've gone too far and you get stuck, that's fine. Just give yourself a shove back up and just modify your range of movement next time. Try a couple more for me. So just roll and lie yourself back down, and then bring yourself back up nice and strong. So just again, just go with whatever range of movement you can. Do some a little bit higher, and then challenge yourself to go a little bit lower on another 1 or 2. So nice and steady, up you come and down you go. Easy back. We'll make this one our last one, but we have got to get... Oh, I cheated a bit on that one, didn't I? And back you come. Okay, this time we're going to roll back, and we're going to extend one leg up and back down, and up and back down. So a little bit of work in our hip flexors again. Sorry, Kirsten. So curl that tailbone under, hinge back and hold, and then point and back down. Other side, point and back down and lift up. We'll do that again. We're going to still keep our legs pretty high. We'll do them lower in a moment. So curl that tailbone under, hinge back and hold. Point that foot up and back down. Point the other foot up and back down. Up you come. Next time we do it, hang on a second, we're going to go down much lower with the legs, so it's a wee bit tighter on your hip flexors. Okay, so from this seated position, again, nice and tall to begin, then curl that tailbone under, hinge back and hold. Oh, I did the low one. Down low and back to in, down low and back to in. Memory like a sieve. Okay, we're going to try again because I clearly was doing the wrong thing. So curl that tailbone under, extend your leg low. There we go. Managed to remember this time. Good. And lift up. We're going to do that again one more time, but we're going to do 2 extensions and 2 stretches on each side. So sit yourself up nice and tall, curl that tailbone under and hold. Extend that leg low, good, and the other side. And now we're going to repeat that. So first side, good, second side, hold. Now bring yourself up. Okay, just make sure you're in the center of your mat and just lie back down and take a little stretch and hug your knees into your chest first. And then stretch your legs out and away, and stretch through your hip flexors and reach your arms up and overhead if that feels comfortable, and just try and lengthen all the way through your body.
let's start to move a little bit differently again. So we've done this exercise before. It's a flowing movement, allowing us to stretch and work our core at the same time. So your head and neck and shoulders are going to raise off the mat. You're going to draw one knee in towards your chest and your body, and you're going to lightly hold onto your shin at the front. The other leg is extending out and away, and if possible, the heel is slightly off the mat. We're then going to swap this over, so the other leg comes in and the other leg goes out, and then just alternate one in and then one away. So draw your knee in towards your chest as the other leg extends out. So draw one leg in and then swap over. So reach and stretch, reach and stretch. So really extend the long leg away from you and gently draw this knee in towards your body. And just give me a couple more alternating on each side. Draw that leg in and extend away. Last couple. In you come and out you go. Good stuff. Okay, take a rest for a moment while I show you what we're going to do next. Similar thing, but we're going to try and do it with straight legs. Now, your legs might go straighter than mine, quite likely. So one leg's going to go up straight, vertical-ish. Other leg's going to go out a little bit like it was last time, and then we're going to swap them over. So similar idea, but you've got straight-ish legs. So up and away and down and up. There we go. Good. So again, if you're able, the back of your body and your shoulders are away from the floor. If that's too sore on your neck and that's too tiring, then you can put your head down if you get a little bit tired in the upper part of your back and your shoulders and your neck. So here's your option if you find that too much. And you can always bend your knees slightly if you find it too much with straight legs. So take some options and just modify the move if you find the full version a little bit too tricky. Good. Last couple. Take that stretch and that length. Take that stretch and length in the other leg. Good. Now then, put those feet back down and place your feet just a comfortable and even distance away from your body. We're going to come up into shoulder bridge next. So arms just comfortably rested by your side. Feet are planted on the floor. Tailbone is down. You're going to curl that lower part of your back off the mat, and I want you to consciously work on trying to lift each vertebra of your back off the mat one by one. So try and make that movement and lift up super smooth and controlled. So curl that tailbone under, gently push into the feet, lift yourself up from your core and hold in that bridge position. So knees and hips and shoulders are all roughly in line. Squeeze that belly button up and hold and stay there. And now smoothly and just in the reverse of coming up, try and now put each vertebra back down on the mat one by one. We're going to do that a couple more times, so repeat that movement. Roll that tailbone off the ground, lift and rise up into that bridge position. Keep those hips high, arms rested by your side, knees and hips and shoulders are all in line, and then super controlled, roll yourself back to the mat. We'll go again. Roll and lift yourself up. Gently lift those hips. Squeeze those glutes. Keep your hips level. Make your abdominals work. Stay here in this lifted position. And then slowly come back down. Okay, we're going to do that again, but bring your feet in a little bit closer. We're going to do a couple of bridges with feet close and a couple with them further away. It just works the muscles in the back of your leg and your glutes just a little bit differently. So with your feet as close to your bum as you can get them, lift up and back down. Now just move up and down this time rather than holding at the top, and just move nice and smooth. Roll down and rise. Last couple. Okay, and then come back down this time. Now put your feet back to normal and then put them further away. So try and move your feet further away from your bottom and do the same thing. Now this will work your hamstrings a little bit more. So these muscles at the back of your legs will work a little bit more when we do it this way. Maybe? Good. Again, just give me a couple more here, so roll and lift yourself up. And down you come, and make this next one your last one. Good. And roll back down. Good stuff. Bring your feet back to some normal center position, and then I want you to readjust your hips and back into neutral. So for those that are pretty familiar with this, I'm hoping that's all of you, just roll your hips back and forth and then move until the hip bones are facing up towards the sky and your tailbone is on the mat. Arms are rested by your side. You're then going to just bring one leg at a time up into tabletop. So knee above hip, shin parallel to the floor. Second leg comes up. Both knees are now above your hips and both shins are roughly parallel to the floor. I want you to slowly extend one leg and then draw it back to that starting position. From here, do the same thing on the other side, out and back to the beginning. So extend and back to that setup point. So tailbone down, knees above the hips, and just alternate that leg extension. So reach and back in, and then reach and back in. So just keep working left and right, one side then the other, nice and controlled, out and back in. Good. So extend and back, out and back in. We'll do a couple more on each side, so just keep working here for now. So keep those shoulders relaxed, keep your belly button drawn in, core is holding you, because you're now going to be into your final one or two. This is my last one. Good. And rest there. Place your feet back down on the ground and just have a little wriggle and a rest for a minute, because we're going to do a similar thing but add an opposite arm as well. So reset yourself up into your neutral position or your starting position, and then one leg at a time up into tabletop. Just check that your knees are above your hips, and then lift again your head and shoulders off the mat and place your arms by the outsides of your knees. You're going to extend one leg, so my left leg for example, at the same time as your other arm, so my right arm for example is going back over my head. So I'm going to out and come back in. Now try and keep your torso nice and still and controlled and steady as you're moving your arms and your legs out and back in. So move away and come back to that tabletop position. Move away and then come back to your starting position. If it gets too sore in your neck, just put your head back on the floor and you can continue from here. So I'm probably going to do a few with my head down, just to give my neck a little bit of a rest, and then I'll do a few with my head back up again. So I've done a few down there. I'm now going to lift and do a few more with my head up. But you can do as many on either format as you wish. So head up or head down, don't really mind. Just do whatever works best for you. So out and back in, and then out and back in. Move with control. You're able to keep your torso and trunk super steady as you move your limbs in and out. We'll just do one more. Good. Or finish up whichever side you need to. Then draw your knees in towards your chest and have a little stretch. And then you can stretch out down here with your legs and your arms, or whatever feels good for you. Just stretch out your legs, give your hips a little bit of a chance to recover. Okay. In fact, we're going to be down here next anyway. So you can stretch your legs out long and away. And again, this opens out through your hips a little bit here. Okay. We're going to lift one leg at a time, and we're going to circle this time rather than going in and out. So tailbones down, hip bones somewhere about here are facing up towards the roof or the sky, and then you're going to lift and you're going to circle that leg round. So circles are fairly small. Try not to let your hips rock side to side as you do that. So keep everything super steady here. If it helps, you can put your hands on your hip bones and your thumbs by your side. That's good. Or if you feel quite steady, you can keep your hands on the floor by your side. Good. Last couple. And rest there. Your leg gets quite heavy after, well, not very long actually. Or maybe that's just my leg. So lift up and then circle round. Maybe my muscles are just a bit tired. It was that cycle ride on Tuesday night. I'm blaming that hill we went up. Good. Circle that leg round. Good. Keep those hips super still. Last couple. And rest there. Okay, we're going to go back to that circular motion, but you're going to try and go the other way. If you can't remember the way you went, it's the opposite way to what you'd like to go. So I naturally want to go around that way, so I need to make myself go the other way because that feels not as natural to move in that direction. So you can have your head up or your head down, but as long as you keep your trunk and hips and pelvis super still, that's all good by me. And then just keep that leg moving around just for a few more rotations, and then we'll swap over. So make this one your last one, and then rest. Take a breath and again do the same thing. So circle that leg round the other way. I think that's the other way to what you were doing last time, and keep that leg moving. Don't panic if you think you've done the same way. It's not the end of the world. Good. Keep that leg going round, tiny wee circles, moving nice and smoothly round and round and round. Good. Give me a couple more rotations here. Good. And rest there. Okay. How's your legs and hips? All right? Okay. This time we're going to bend our knees and we're coming back into bridge, but we're going to try and do some single leg work this time, so a little bit tougher. Gives you a chance to stretch out those hips as well, mind. So you're going to leave one foot on the mat, so one leg is down and one leg is extended. You're then going to try and gently push into this supporting leg and strongly lift from your core as you bring yourself up into a bridge on one leg, and then nice and slowly back down. If that's a bit too much, you can cross that leg and ankle over the other one. Gives you a little bit more support. Or if you like, no thank you very much, you can leave both legs down and repeat the movement we did just a little while ago. So a couple of options you can decide. So up and down with a single leg, or up and down with a leg crossed over. A bit more, but like that. Or with both legs down. Whichever one you're doing, we're only going to do one more, not going to do hundreds down here. Good. And back down. But we do need to do the same on the other side. So just simply swap over and try and do the same variations that you did on the other leg. So extend that leg out and then lift up and back down. It's quite a bit tougher doing only a single leg bridge, so don't panic if you find this quite challenging. That's absolutely fine. Just do whatever you can. You may also want just to modify your range of movement. So maybe you might not go quite as high on the single leg bridge. That would be absolutely fine. Just try and work whatever you can, nice and slowly up and down. And this is going to be your final one. Good. Now put both legs and feet back down on the ground, and we're going to come up into regular bridge again. Make sure your feet and knees are roughly the same distance away from you, and then roll up and lift into bridge. Now you're going to try and lift up onto the balls of your feet. So roll forwards onto the toes and balls of your feet, and then come back down, and then roll back down to the mat. Same again. Roll and lift up. Push those hips high. Squeeze your abdominals. Roll up onto the toes, up onto the balls of your feet, and then bring up heels, and everything back down. My apologies, I did that the wrong way around. We'll try that again, and I'll try and give you the correct way to do it. So, sorry. Roll and lift up, and hold up onto the balls of your feet. Bring your heels back down, and then roll down. There we go. Good. We'll try that one more time. So roll and lift yourself up, hold, heels up, heels down, and then back to the mat. Okay, you're going to roll over onto your side, so just, doesn't matter which, just choose the side that is nearest. We'll do the same on the other side anyway. So set yourself up, legs extended, arm down in front, head on your outstretched arm ahead of you. So just check that your ankles and your knees and your hips are all roughly in line, and then place that hand in front for balance. If you're quite stable and quite comfortable in this side lying position, you can always put your hand up here, but don't be afraid to bring it back down as and when you need. So lift that waist up, try and pull your waist away from the ground, draw your belly button in towards your spine, and then we're going to lift, flex, down. So point, lift, flex, and down. So point your ankle, point your toe, move your ankle away, and lift up and down. So a little bit of ankle mobility work here as well as working our core, and of course this outside of your leg as well. So point, lift, flex, and lower. So point, lift, flex, and lower. Good stuff. Keep going. And you're going to make the next one your last one. All right, take a rest just for a moment. You're going to again lift this top leg, but this time we're going to circle round. So tiny wee circles, lift and then circle round. We'll just do a few rotations this way. Now go the other way, so change direction. Go back the way just a little bit. Good. And go forwards again. Good. And then go backwards again. And then we're going to hold. So stop here, hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Down you come. Okay, this time you're going to bend your knees up so that your feet and your bottom are roughly in line, and we're going to do that clamshell movement. So you're going to come up and back down. So the bottom leg is staying on the ground, both knees are bent, and your feet are kind of like the pivot point. So the knee opens and close, opens and close. So lift and back down. Remember not to lift too far that you roll back behind you, but you stay on this hip, keeping the tummy drawn in and keeping that waist lifted. So good for your hips, good flexibility and strength up here. And we'll just do a couple more. We're not going to do loads because we're going to go around and on to the other side in a moment or so. Good. Last one. Good stuff. Rest there. Okay, extend that top leg and then extend the bottom and keep everything up and hold that balance. So both legs extended, both legs lifted. If you can, try and put your hand up or down here, or if you need to leave it on the floor, then that's a-okay as well. And then bring everything down. Draw your knees up and in, and we're going to go around the other way. You can roll over or spin round. Try and do it a bit more gracefully than that. And then set yourself up on the other side. So legs extended, ankles are together, knees are upon one another, hip upon hip, and just glance down, and hopefully you'll be able to see your toes or the end of your socks. Start with your hand down, head on your outstretched arm on the other side, and lift that waist and pull that tummy button in. Keep those shoulders down, and start with your hand down here, as I said. Then from there you're going to lift and flex, and then point and lower. So, sorry, point, lift, flex, and lower. Get the right order, Jen. So point, lift, flex, and lower. Point, lift, flex, and lower. So keep that cycle and that pattern going just for now. Good. Lift, up, and down. Good. So point the toes, lift them up, flex the ankle, and down you go. So just nice and steady. Again, getting a bit of work through the ankle and the ankle mobility at the same time as working your hip and of course your core. Good. Last couple. Make this next one your last one. Good stuff. Okay, so the next exercise on this side is those circles. So top leg again lifts and little tiny circles forwards. Again, we're only going to do a few. Bit wobbly on this side. Squeeze your core, hold everything nice and steady, change direction. So do little circles in the other way around. Go back the way, good. And then go forwards again. Oh, how you doing? Achy? And go backwards again. Is it just me that it's super achy? It's probably just me, isn't it? Good. Last couple. And rest there. Okay. Bend those knees up and forwards so that your bottom and your heels are roughly in line and the knees are ahead of you. We're again going to obviously do that clamshell movement that we did on the other side. So try and open this knee, lifting from this hip, and your feet stay together and just pivoting and holding them just gently together, but allowing that knee to lift. So same as the other side, try not to lift that leg too high that you roll back the way, but try and just lift and lower. And one side will be more flexible and more supple than the other, so just work with whichever side you're on, work with whatever range of movement that you have on this side. And again, we'll just do a couple more. Good. And so make this one your last one. Nice. Extend that top leg and extend the bottom and hold them both up together and hold that balance. Both legs extended and lifted, top shoulder down, hold that balance, and then rest. Draw those knees up in front and just take a little stretch off there. All right, we're going to come round onto our fronts and on our all fours. So carefully bring yourself round and take a little stretch back in child's pose before we do anything else. So sit your bottom back and reach your arms forwards. So extend your arms ahead of you and push your hips down towards your bum. Okay, then come up slowly. Lift yourself up onto your hands and your knees. Knees beneath your hips, hands beneath your shoulders, and just take a stretch here. Good. Good. Last one. And then come back through the centre. Take your right arm and left leg out and have them touching the ground. Good. Now lift them up and back down. So lift and lower, lift and lower. Nice and steady, nice and smooth movement up and down. Good. Last one. And rest and come back in. Make sure you're set up in your all fours position, nice and spread with the fingers, hands beneath the shoulders. Squeeze that belly button up, and we'll do the same on the other side. Left arm, right leg, touching the ground to begin, and then lift, and then tap. So arm and leg come up, arm and leg come down. So lift and hold, and back down. So nice and simple and smooth movement, coming up and back down. Good. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Last couple on this side, and make this one your final one. Okay, I'll show you from the front this time. So same starting movement, but then we're going to add a lateral movement too. So arm and leg out and down, and then lift up and open. So come to the centre and now to the side. So come to the centre and now out wide. So arm and leg going counterbalance, one goes to the left, one goes to the right. And you again try and keep your hips and torso super steady as the arms and legs are moving to and fro. Last couple. And so make this your final one. Good. And then come back in and down. We'll do the same on the other side, of course. So set yourself up, take a breath. Eyes looking down and slightly ahead of your hands. Out and down. Toes touching, fingers touching, and then lift
and then out and back in. So nice and controlled to the side and back to the centre. Keep everything as still as you can. A bit wobbly on this side, huh? So out and back to the middle, out and back to the middle. And so give me 2 more. Well, I need to work on this side. Last one. And come back in. Come back to the centre and rest there. I think I was too narrow with that hand. That was too narrow. Okay, so we're going to finish up in just a couple of little plank holds, just because we can. So set yourself up long ways on your mat again, and we're going to come down into our hands beneath our shoulders, knees back from your hips, and shift your body weight forwards. So chest above and between your hands, knees back and behind you, and just hold here for a moment. Now squeeze that belly button in and towards your back. Now tuck your toes underneath and straighten out through the legs as you lift up into that full prone bridge. Squeeze your tummy button in and up and hold there for a moment. Good. Now come back down and sit back and stretch, because we're going to do that again a couple more times. So from here, come forwards, hands wide, slightly wider than your shoulders. Shift your body weight forwards, knees back behind you, tuck those toes under, and then straighten out through the legs and hold. Eyes are forward and in front of your hands, your eye gaze is out and ahead. Squeeze your belly button in towards your back and hold here again for a few moments. And then come back down and stretch back. One more, a little bit longer this time. Okay, here we go. Last one. So bring yourself forward again, hands out and beneath those shoulders. So shift your body weight so your chest is in the right position. Knees back behind you, legs extended. Curl and tuck those toes under. Squeeze that belly button up and in, and straighten out through the legs as you lift up into that full prone bridge. So let's see if we can just hold for a few more seconds just now. Arms are strong and holding you steady. Eyes are down and looking forward. Squeeze your tummy button in towards your back and just hold here for a few more seconds. Good. Eyes are looking down. Keep strongly lifting that core in towards your back. You manage another 7 seconds or so? I'm pretty confident you can do that. Stay here for 3, 2, 1. Good stuff. Bring your knees back down. Push your bottom back behind you and reach and stretch forwards. Okay. Bring yourself up onto your knees, and we're just going to stretch off here before we finish up. So bring yourself up on your knees. If this is too uncomfy on your knees, just sit on your bottom. Bring your shoulders down and away from your ears, and just nice and smoothly lean side to side. Don't go too far, just easing and loosening off. Last one. And rest there. Give your shoulders a little roll round, one way and then the other. Good. And then shrug them up and let them go. Shrug your shoulders up and let them go. One more time. Lift and release. Bring your legs and feet underneath of you and stretch them out. Ahead, lengthen through the legs, and then do what we did at the beginning. Lift up and sweep through. Reach forwards and sweep through one more time, and then we'll reverse. Good. Now opposite, dive forwards and bring your hands back. Lift up and dive forwards and bring your hands back one more time. Lift up and dive forwards. Good. Then bring your legs back to be crossed. We'll go back to where we were at the very beginning. Then just take a couple of moments just to relax. And then sit up nice and tall, hands rested on your knees in front of you, and then relax one more time. Lift up, lengthen through your spine, tailbone anchored, long through your back, eyes looking forward, crown of your head, feel as though you're being lifted from there. Open out across your shoulders, feel open across your chest. And take a few breaths here. And then relax. And we are finished. Thank you very much for joining in as always. We're doing this again later. We will see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.